Welcome back to the Physics Mindset, your channel which is here to deliver the best technical information in both solar system, electrical and electronics. On this channel, the Physics Mindset, whereby we are going to see all technical work, all engineering work in solar engineering, electrical engineering and electronic engineering. Today, we are going to see or to cover about solar battery problems and their solutions. Solar battery problems and their solutions. Okay, we have seen the problem facing the solar panels and their solutions. I'm giving you basic problems. Okay, basic problems whereby if you tackle one problem which I'm giving you, I explain it widely, technically, or like I put it much engineering work when I'm explaining it, that one problem can solve like 5 problems. Okay, when I'm explaining it, be conscious and listen whatever I'm telling you or whatever I'm explaining to that problem I've given you. Okay, because you may find a lot of solutions in one problem which I've given you, and I give a lot of solutions to the solar system problems, either to the battery. I may give you one problem and I explain or I give solutions to many problems. Okay, now today we are going to see some of the problems facing the solar batteries. You know, solar batteries in solar system, how can I call it? Because we have a solar panel which is so much important in our system, whereby a solar panel will receive the sun rays and generate our electricity in DC power. Okay, so it is so much important that even our gadgets during day can use solar panel to light. Even the lights can work during day, not this, during day. Now when the sun is not there, that is at night, solar panel is useless. Thereby we introduced the solar battery to store that unused power during day. You know, unused power, I mean when during the solar panel sends power direct to the TVs, to our lights, to the refrigerators, okay, all appliances. Now during night we need to use a stored power, whereby we use a battery to store this unused power. Okay, in chemical form, the battery store electricity in chemical form, then we can use it in electrical form. Okay, now after storing the power generated by the solar panel, we store it in batteries. Now the moment the battery is charging, discharging, we use the power, it stores the power. That moment of charging and discharging, it makes the battery face some problems, and this is the problems we are going to face, because this is a man-made thing. That's why I told you from the beginning that solar system is a man-made thing. Okay, these are not things made from God. Okay, they are electronic, man-made things, so they face problems or they face some challenges or limitations. In the interval of charging, discharging, charging, discharging, charging, discharging, day to day, until the year ends, until the years which we expect the battery to last. Okay, it will face some problems. Now, which are the problems? These are the problems we are going to talk about today. One of the problems, I've told you, we are going to see the signs which shows that this battery is having this kind of problem. I've given you the signs which you can tell. Even a technician or a customer can tell that my solar battery is having a problem after monitoring or observing these signs. Now, what are the signs? I'm going to give you the signs of this problem, then I give you the solution. Okay, let's go. One of the signs, one of the problem which you have seen on solar batteries, I know everyone has know about this problem. Which problem is this? The battery drains too fast. This is one of the problems for the batteries. Remember I told you, when I give one problem like this, get curious to listen to the solutions I'm going to give. I'm going to give multiple solutions so that even another problem, you can use these solutions to solve other problems. Okay? Now, the battery drains too fast. Batteries drain too fast. Why? Why do batteries drain too fast? In this interval of charging from the panel, okay, and discharging from our appliances, it's charging from the panel, discharging from our appliances. Now, in that interval, the battery is working, charging, discharging, charging, discharging. Okay, the battery will not. It will reach a time it starts draining too fast. The battery starts draining too fast from nowhere. Because of that interval, with the time, 1 year, 2 years, charging, discharging, 3 years, 5 years, okay? The battery will start getting too fast to drain. Drain means when it is not being charged and it is being used by our appliances. That is draining the battery. Another name we can use, discharging the battery. You can use the battery discharges too fast. Okay, it is the same as saying it drains. Okay, these are technical terms in solar which we can use. Okay, the battery discharges too fast or the battery drains too fast. What are the signs you can tell that this battery drains too fast or this battery is discharging very fast? Why? For example, a battery, it charges to when it is fully charged. Let's just say it reaches 13.7 or 14 volts DC, fully charged. Now at night at 7, we expect this battery to work up to 5 a.m. from 7 to 5 a.m. okay, at night. Now the battery works from 7 to 9 or 10 p.m. okay. Now we get curious on what can be the problem. Why is the battery draining too fast or getting discharged very fast like this? Yet we expect it too long to drive the loads up to the time we calculated. This is the problem we are talking about. Why the batteries drain too fast. How can you tell that this battery drains too fast? You will observe that the power runs out quickly at night. The power, let us say you're using an inverter and the inverter shuts down, meaning the power turns out or the inverter shuts down. If you're using DC connected to the charge controller, the charge controller will disconnect the DC loads quickly at night. Let us say from 7, we expect this battery to work up to 5 a.m., 7 p.m. okay. Now the battery drains, the voltages goes down because the appliances are working. The TVs, the lights, the fridge are being consuming power from the battery. Okay, the battery is not charging at night. Remember, at night a solar panel doesn't work or doesn't charge the battery. Okay, we are only to use that stored energy to light our systems in the house. Now the battery line, the battery voltages goes very fast. That means it is draining too fast or discharging very fast. Okay, and the power runs out quickly at night or the power chops off. We are watching a TV, for example, we are watching a TV and the TV from nowhere, we have just switched on our inverter at 7 p.m. Now at 9 p.m. the inverter sounds the signal that there is a low voltage on the battery and it trips off. This is running out quickly at night. Power runs out quickly at night. It's an indication that the battery drains too fast. You see the sign? We are just seeing the signs. Okay, we are going to see also the causes. What causes the battery to drain too fast, or what causes the battery to drain too fast or to discharge too fast. Okay, now another sign which you can tell that this battery drains too fast or this battery discharges very fast. Another sign, you can be in your house and you see the battery voltage drops rapidly. If you are an technician, you have a multimeter, go and put your multimeter, a positive terminal and a negative terminal. Okay, do the pivot on the multimeter, put on the right voltages you need to measure, either in 20 volts DC, then measure the voltages. Once you see the battery voltages dropping rapidly, okay, once you see the battery voltages dropping rapidly from, let us say the battery was full, we are starting to test the battery. Okay, switch on the appliances. Now start measuring the voltages on the battery terminal. Okay, watch how the multimeter is counting, because once you connect or you switch on the appliances which are using the battery voltages or the battery power, the battery will start going down. But the moment, let me give you technical information how the battery discharges. The battery discharges, it charges like, if it was 13 volts DC, when it is discharging, it will discharge like after 30 minutes, it can go to 12.9 volts. Then after 30 minutes, it can go to 12.8. Then after 30 minutes, it can go to 12.7. Okay, it is coming down slowly. It is removing one voltages to some batteries, not all batteries. I'm giving you an example how the battery discharges. Okay, and this is the way it charges. It charges slowly, volt per volt. It doesn't charge 2 volts from 12 volts to 12.5. No, it charges 12 volts. It starts playing with 12.1, 12 volts, then 12.1, then it goes back 12 volts, then again it comes once 12 volts point 1. That is how it charges. Even the discharge starts like that. 12 volts point 1, it goes to 12 volts, then it comes out 12 volts point 1, then it goes to 12 volts. It's coming down. Then after it goes to 12 volts. Then after 12 volts, it will go to 11 volt point 9. Then it 12 volts, then 11 volt point 9, then 12 volts. That's how it discharges. Then after it stabilizes on 11 volt point 9. Then after 30 minutes, it discharges 11 volts point 8. Then it goes back to 11 volts point 9. It goes back 11 volt point 8. That's how it discharges. Slowly it plays with around this the last digit until it comes back to another digit. That's how it discharges. Now, if you measure the voltage dropping rapidly, the battery voltage, if you measure the battery voltage, if you are not a technician with your multimeter, and the voltage runs very fast, let us say from 13 volts, you tell the customer that switch on all your appliances, the TVs, the lights. You will end up seeing 12.9. After 5 minutes, 12.8. After 5 minutes, 12.7. After 3 minutes, 12.6. After 4 minutes, 12.3. After 1 hour, it will go to 11 volts. No. This way of discharging, it just show you this way of battery voltage drop rapidly. The voltage is dropping rapidly. It shows that your battery drains too fast. You see? Your battery drains too fast. Now you have seen the signs which show that my battery drains very fast. Let us see what causes this battery to drain too fast. The causes of the battery. Check this. We have 1 point. Causes of the battery, which causes the battery to drain or to drop very fast. Drains mean discharging or dropping very too fast. One of the causes is old battery. The battery may be old. Okay, this battery, our battery, might be the solar battery. We are looking at the solar batteries, the battery you have used, either lead acid battery or lithium ion batteries or AGM battery or GAIL battery. It depends on which type of battery you're using. You'll see when it is old, its battery drain or battery discharge, it will discharges very fast because of the old battery. It has aged. Okay, it has no ability to handle the voltages, to last with the volt. It will end up draining very fast, like here. Okay, instead of draining with like here, like from 13, after 30 minutes it goes to 12.9 volts. Then after 30 minutes it goes to 12.8 volts. That is something like a normal voltage drain, or I mean voltage drop. But after 5 minutes, from 13 it goes to 12.9. After 5 minutes, 12.8. After 2 minutes, 12.7. After like 30 minutes, 11 volts. That is abnormal voltage drop. Another point of the causes. We are now looking at the causes. We have seen the signs which you can tell that this battery drains very fast. The signs where power goes out very quickly at night. The voltage drops. The battery voltages drop rapidly. It shows that the battery drains very fast. Now we are seeing the causes. We have seen one of the causes is old battery. The battery is old, which makes this drainage to go very fast because it has no efficiency. Its efficiency also drains because it is still old. Okay. Another point we see, excessive loads. Excessive loads. What do they mean by excessive loads? Excessive loads, they mean our battery, since we calculated our battery that it will be 100 ampere hours, 12 volts DC. Okay, we have calculated all our loads. Okay, now a customer from nowhere, he calls his electrician, a village electrician, to add some light in his house or security lights. Okay, this light we didn't calculate it when we are calculating for the complete solar system at the beginning. At some time like 1 year, the customer puts like 2 bulbs, okay, of different wattage, and we didn't count these lights. Now you'll end up seeing these excessive loads. That 2 bulbs, those are excessive loads. Okay, either 2, or he has bought a new TV with different wattage, okay, which we didn't calculate at the beginning, so that we get the battery of 12 volts, 100 ampere hour. And these excessive loads will consume this 100 ampere hour, and it will end up making the battery to drain very fast or too fast, or the battery will discharge too fast because of this excess loads which we have added. Okay, that's why I recommend customers or technicians to teach your customers, give them some knowledge about solar system, so that they don't make those mistakes of adding on other excess loads. Okay, now we have another cause of battery drain, causes of this problem of battery draining too fast, insufficient solar charging. Solar charging, once the solar charging I mean the solar panel, once it is insufficient, the battery voltage, I mean the panel voltage, once it is not, let us say if it is cloudy, okay, if it is cloudy, solar charging will be insufficient to fully charge the battery. Okay, the battery will receive not enough voltages to fully charge. Okay, now once we face this insufficient solar charging, The battery, once you put your loads, these loads, the TVs, the lights, the fridges, they will drain fast the battery because it didn't get fully charged. Okay, and this is the point, this is the cause of insufficient solar charging. It might be when the solars are few to charge the battery, or you calculated wrongly the solar panels, or it was clouded during that day. Those are one of the causes. Okay, now let us see the solutions. How can we solve this problem of battery draining too fast? Let us see the solutions, because we have seen once the power runs out quickly, it means battery is draining fast. Once the battery voltage drops rapidly, it means battery drains too fast. The causes, you may be having old batteries. Check that. You may be having old batteries. Another cause, you might increase loads, excessive loads. You might increase those loads in future without indicating, without noticing, or without telling the technician about it. It end up draining the battery. You might have insufficient solar charging. You might be having solar panel where you calculated wrongly your solar panel. That's why I told you check on the solar panel calculations, so that you will know and avoid this problem. So let us see the solutions which we can do to solve the battery draining too fast. What are the solutions? Okay, now let us see the solutions of battery drains too fast. What are the solutions? Before we do anything, let us look at the solutions. I know once we hear about the solutions, it is where the science is. The science is test the battery health. Test the battery health. Okay, when the battery is draining too fast, or is being drained, meaning, remember I told you, drain means discharging, or when the battery discharges too fast. Okay, please test the battery health. Test the battery. After testing the battery health, how? First check the battery, charge it fully, then test with the voltmeter, leave it without connecting to the loads, then test how the battery drains. Okay, if it drains very fast, it will call for a replacement. Okay, test the battery voltage, the battery health. If it is fine, solution number 2, reduce unnecessary loads. Reduce unnecessary loads. Remember the loads, once we have calculated our battery, which is 100 ampere hour, 12 volts, and a customer, after 1 year, a customer tries to bring electrician to add on some bulbs, like 5 of them, which we didn't know, we as the solar technicians. Okay, now this battery will drain very fast because of the loads which have the excessive loads. Remember this point, the excessive loads. Now reduce the unnecessary loads. Okay, when you see that you have here one bulb in the sitting room, don't put 2 bulbs. Remove one and leave one. Reduce unnecessary loads. The loads which we never calculated, please don't add on any load on the battery. The battery will drain very fast. We are doing the solution technically. Reduce the necessary loads. Test for the battery health. Solution 3, increase solar panel capacity. If we see that our battery is draining very fast, you may have not calculated well the solar capacity. Now the solution is increase the solar panel capacity. It can solve this problem of battery draining too fast, or the battery may not be charging fully. That's why if we increase the battery solar capacity, meaning if you are using a 100 watt, buy another 100 watt. If the battery is not getting fully charged, buy another 100 watt. And you remember how we saw the series parallel connection and how we saw the parallel connection. and how we studied about the series connection. In series we said we increase the voltages. Now in parallel we said we increase the wattage, or we increase the capacity. And yet here we increase the solar panel capacity, meaning you will connect your solar panels in parallel. Positive on positive, negative on negative. Okay? Then they go, then you tap and they go to the regulator. Connect them in parallel, solar panels, to increase the capacity. The capacity is in wattage, meaning you will increase the wattage. Okay? Here, if you connect them in parallel, the wattage will be 200 watts. Okay? Now our battery will have the enough power to charge, to solve the issue of the battery draining too fast. Here we are looking at the solar batteries problems, the solutions. These are the solutions. We say number one, test the battery health, reduce unnecessary loads, increase solar panel capacity. Even here, to reduce unnecessary loads. In a case, let us say an example, in a case in a sitting room, okay, you have your sitting room, bedroom, kitchen, outside security lights. Now don't leave the outside security light during day. Okay, switch them off. That's the use of a switch. And if you during day, if you're not in the bedroom, the sun is there, why do you leave on the lights? Switch the lights off in the whole house, unless where there is dark and you have necessary, either you're reading something, you can switch on, but switch off unnecessary loads which are not working, or you are not using that room at that particular time. Switch them off, so that the battery gets some space to charge. Because when you switch on, the battery is charging, the same time is sending the voltage, meaning the voltage which is coming on the battery for being charging is being also picked up by the loads which are in use during day. And yet the battery, we wanted to use it at night. Okay, now the solution number 4, replace the worn out batteries. Replace the worn out batteries. Okay, if the battery is old, replace. If the battery, you have done all this testing, you have reduced the necessary loads, you have increased the solar panel capacity, and the batteries are failing to keep the capacity, it is draining very fast, please replace with the exact battery capacity. If it was 100 ampere hour, 12 volts, okay, DC, replace with the exact value. The value, I mean the capacity of the battery. Replace, and the system will come back to life. Okay, let us see the second problem facing the solar battery problems. We are looking at the solar battery problems and their solutions. Let us see the second problem, if we can also help us to solve some of the solar system problems. Okay, let us check on the second problem. We are seeing the next problem of solar battery problems and solutions. Okay, we are seeing the second problem. I told you I give you one problem, but I explain solutions of 5 problems. Okay, so be conscious. Any problem which comes, the moment you see these videos, you will have to tackle a lot of problems. You have always on how to tackle the problems. Now this is the problem 2. Now we are going to talk about these lead acid batteries. Lead acid batteries have a problem of sulfation. Sulfation is a process when a battery develops some salty things on the terminal, either on the cathode or anode terminal, that is positive or negative. Okay, once this salty, some people called it is powdered in appearance. Okay, no one pours there something like powdered things on the terminal. No one pours there. They create themselves in the process of sulfation. Okay, and it turns, after some times it turns greenish or bluish. When you leave it without maintaining the battery, it It first comes like whitish. After some time, it turns into something like greenish. Okay? And this normally happens in lead acid batteries. All batteries happens, but mostly in lead acid batteries. Okay? This problem is all batteries. I mean, these batteries, the lead acid batteries, once you don't maintain them, it is obvious to face this problem. The signs to see that your battery, your lead acid battery, is facing a problem of sulfation. What signs can we see? These are the signs I'm going to give you to see the signs of lead acid battery suffering from sulfation. Okay, that powdered thing which creates on the terminal of a battery. The powdered thing is either whitish or yellowish. Sometimes it turns to greenish. Number one sign to show that your battery is suffering from sulfation is reduced battery capacity. The capacity of the battery will reduce. Remember, we have calculated our battery is 100 Ah, 12 volts. Now, the battery as if is acting as if it is of 70 Ah. When it is suffering from sulfation, these are lead acids, is lead acid batteries. Okay, or any battery which has that powdered thing, the capacity, the battery capacity will reduce, because these whitish things on the battery terminal, this is the battery, it has the terminal positive, negative. Now around the terminal, this whitish, the sulfate, we can call it lead sulfates, will act upon the terminal, and it will reduce on the production process, on the production of the battery, leading to reduction of the battery capacity. Okay, if you don't maintain those batteries, this problem is so common. Now the next thing the next sign you can see that your battery, your lead acid battery, is suffering from sulfation. Okay, you will see a slow charging of the battery. The battery will take much long time to charge or to get full because of these powdered things around the terminal, either positive or negative. Okay, whereby we shall need to remove these powdered things. That is the maintenance the battery needs. Okay, slow charging, it shows the battery is suffering from sulfation. Okay, another sign you can see, short backup time. When it reaches time to back up our power during at night, the battery will back up in a short, it will give us small time to light our systems, the TVs, the LED, the radios, the fridges. The fridge will back up, giving us small time. We expect the battery to give us like 10 hours, but it's going to give us 5 or 2 hours. Okay, backup time, it shortens, meaning our battery is suffering from sulfation, meaning we need to remove that powdered thing on the terminal, and the battery will be in position, will be in contact with the cable which we have connected, because these powdered things will create a space between the terminal and the cable, and the battery will not be able, there will be high voltage drops. Okay, we shall lose some power, some voltages on that terminal because of no or loose connection. That powder will cause some loose connection on the battery terminals, leading to short backup time. Another sign to see that our lead acid is suffering from sulfation in lead acid batteries, complete battery failure. The battery will fail completely. Complete battery failure. At night, you switch on your TV, is not working. But during the sun was there and the panel was charging the battery. But at night, you switch on your TV, your lights, nothing is working. Meaning the battery is completely failed. Sulfation is disturbing these lead acid batteries. They need maintenance all the time. Okay, you need to maintain it. Remove that powdered things on the battery terminal, so that your battery will not die completely without you not seeing it. Okay, let us see the causes, which causes sulfation in a lead acid battery. Why do lead acid battery face this problem of sulfation? Why? Okay, let us see the problem. What causes this? The battery is left discharged for long period of time. The battery is left discharged for long period of time. These solar batteries, mostly the lead acid batteries, all solar batteries, I think all solar batteries have this problem. The moment you leaving the battery left discharged, your appliances consume the battery for longer time, okay, and you don't charge the battery. These powdered things on the terminal will start creating the lead sulfate, will start coming around the battery terminal, and the battery will reduce the battery capacity, will slow charging, will shorten backup time, will completely die if you're not maintaining this in the early stages. Once the causes of the sulfation in lead acid battery is leaving the battery discharged for long period of time. Okay, the battery needs to leave, you need to leave some voltages in the battery and leave it to charge again. That cycle of discharge and charging, discharge and charging, than leaving the battery to only discharge it for a long time. You don't charge it, you leave it discharged. That's one of the cause. Another cause is the battery is charged but not fully charged. Okay, I think this scenario you have them. Our batteries, during the day, we don't leave the battery to charge. We switch on our TVs. Remember, you're using solar. Solar is not 100% perfect like electricity. Okay, even though it plays a big role in saving our electrical bills, we need to respect and to know how to handle solar system. During day, we need to leave our solar battery to charge. Now, here comes a scenario whereby we clients, we don't leave the battery to charge. We wake up early in the morning at around 9, expecting the sun to come. Remember, I told you the best sun to charge our solar battery is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now we wake up at 8. We switch on our TV. Remember, the battery has worked the whole night. It needs now, its energy is now over. And here comes a client who will switch on a TV. Lights are on. We don't switch them off during day. And we switch on the fridge. Again, the small battery, the small power which is remaining in the battery, we are completely draining it, not leaving a battery to charge. Remember, when the sun comes, when all these components are on, power will go direct to these components using the charge controller or some power from the battery. Now the battery will charge, yet it is charging, but the TV is on, meaning the power which is coming into the battery, again it is being moved away to go to supply our TVs and the fridge. Instead of us switching off the TV so that the battery charges, we are not leaving that space for the battery to charge. And at night the sun will go when the battery is either 70% charged. Okay, the battery will be 70% charged, not 100. Okay, if this battery, it will be a half of it, 3/4 of it, meaning we have charged the battery, but some power was taken to drive the TV or to drive the fridge or our lights or an electronic gadget. This is the point. one of the causes causing sulfation in lead acid batteries or in any solar system or in any solar batteries. Charging the battery but not leaving it to fully charged, it causes sulfation. Sulfation, we said, these are the powdered things on the terminal. The powdered things on the terminal, which causes high resistance. Once the high resistance is there, it means more power will be lost on the terminal, meaning the capacity. That's why I told you we may buy our battery of 100 Ah and the battery end up acting as if it is of 70 Ah, meaning this sulfate, this lead sulfate around the terminal, either positive or negative, if you leave it, it creates resistance. Remember, anything resisting power will be lost to pass through that resistance. Okay, and these are the causes. Now let us see the solutions. I know we have the solutions. I'm going to give you the solutions to solve the sulfation in lead acid batteries. Let us see the solutions. To see the solutions of sulfation in lead acid batteries. These are the solutions I've got for you. I remember, the moment I give you the solutions, please try to solve these solutions with other problems because they relate. They relate. I give much solutions. I give one problem, but I give much solutions. Okay? Now, solution number one, we are looking about the solar battery, whereby these solar batteries, they create these powdered foam on the terminals. What can we do? Recharge the batteries promptly. Okay, recharge the batteries. Recharge the batteries, meaning don't leave a battery. If it is discharged, then charge it fully. Okay, charge the battery fully. Remember, one of the causes of sulfation in lead acid batteries is keeping the battery for a long time, either in a store, when the voltages, when it is not really, or when it is not fully charged, and you keep it for a long time. The battery terminals will cause sulfation, but once you charge your battery fully charged, then you keep it, okay, for a long time, it will not have any problem. But once you have charged it, it will cause sulfation. Sulfation is the powdered foam on the solar battery terminals. Okay, now if you charge it fully or promptly, it will be good. The next solution you can use proper charging voltages. Please use proper charging voltages. Measure the voltages which are coming to the battery for charging from the solar panel. Okay, for any charging, use proper voltages. Okay, don't use, like for example, you may buy your solar panels when they are having less voltages, and yet you connect your battery in parallel. Okay, now solar battery will bring voltages, but it will divide these voltages in these batteries, meaning the battery will not get full. And yet we said once the battery doesn't get full, sulfation on the terminal will be created or will form. Now, when you use a proper charging voltage from the solar panel, meaning the battery, once the battery get fully charged, they are receiving the proper voltage, our battery will not suffer from sulfation. Okay, you see how we are solving that problem? Always charge the battery promptly or fully charged, then use the proper charging voltage. Test the solar panel, the voltages which is coming to the battery. The voltages must be more than 13 volts when you're charging the battery, but the solar panel can be 21 volts, and you put a 12 volts, it is okay. But once you connect, you will see the voltage terminal will go high a bit. But the proper voltage for charging a 12 volt battery is, it can be 16 volts. Okay, 16 and above is good to charge a 12 volt battery. Another solution is perform maintenance regularly. Perform maintenance regularly. Okay, some technicians, once you wire or install a solar battery or a solar system, you leave everything to the client. No, a client has no knowledge about this. Okay, you as a technician, you take to take your responsibility. Go back and monitor the system. The solar panel, if the solar panel is having a dust, please try to clean the solar panel. If you want some charges, please talk to the client that you will pay me to do some services, the maintenance, perform maintenance regularly. Okay, like 2 months, go there once, or in a month, check the customer, call the customer, okay, give the knowledge to the customer, so that a customer, if you're a technician and you're from far, you can call the customer and give him the solution how to do the maintenance. Clean the battery. If it needs you that you need to first remove the terminal, clean the terminal, then put proper way, clean the terminal, then untie back the terminals. Okay, perform maintenance regularly, technicians. Now another solution, store the battery when fully charged. Store the battery when fully charged. I've been telling you this. Once you store a battery when it is not fully charged, it will suffer from sulfation. The terminals will create some powdered forms. Okay, now once you store your battery when it is fully charged, the voltage, note this, the voltage 12.4 volts, not less than. Always measure your voltages. If you're selling batteries, measure the voltages of the batteries which you are in your shop before you sell them. Please charge them, let them keep 12.4 and above voltages, not exceeding or not below 12.4. The battery needs to be charged. 12.4, you can store it, that is okay. Store the battery when it is fully charged. And these are the solutions of sulfation in lead acid batteries. Recharge the battery promptly, use the proper charging voltages, perform maintenance regularly, store the battery when fully charged at around 12.4 volts. Always measure with your multimeter. Okay, now let us see the last problem facing the solar batteries. Okay, and then we see the solution. Then we close up the solution, the problems of batteries. Let us see the last problem. We are seeing the problem number 3. Problem number 3, which the solar batteries are facing. Problem number 3 is the battery overheats, which is the battery overheating. Here comes in a scenario, you have your solar battery, but once you feel it, these are the signs which can tell that the battery is overheating. One of the signs is the battery feels hot. Once you touch your battery, you will feel the hotness of the battery. Battery overheating. This is one of the solar battery problems. Okay, once the battery overheats, it means once you feel the battery when it is hot, okay, this is the problem. The battery is overheating. It is the problem in batteries, because once the battery is heat, just know, you never know, it can burst. Either it is overcharging, it is facing a problem of overcharging. Okay, so does it call to be a regulator is not working? It can be a faulty regulator. Once a regulator is faulty, also a battery will get overheating, meaning the battery is getting overcharging. This is the sign to see that which shows that your battery is overheating. Okay, feeling hot, it means it is overcharging. It is overcharged. Another, once the battery is overcharged, it will swell. Okay, on its sides you will see it will start swelling. This is the part. This is the signs. I'm showing you the signs which shows that the battery is overheating inside, meaning the battery is overcharging or the battery is faulty. Swelling on sides of the battery, it shows the battery is having a problem inside the battery cells, which shows the battery after swelling, it will start heating, and this is the problem of the battery is overheating. Unusual smell. These are the signs which shows that the battery is overheating. Once the battery heats, it will boil inside and it brings out the unusual smells. You will see this, it will sharp, that there is some sharp smell which will come out from the battery, unusual smell. Just know that the battery is overheating or the battery is under problems. Smell, I mean swelling, its sides will swell, meaning the battery is being overheating or being charged. The battery feels hot. Once you touch it, you'll feel the hotness, and you just know the battery is being charged, meaning your charge controller may be faulty. And once the charge controller is faulty, the battery is automatically under condition of failing. Because the use of a charge controller, we said, to protect the battery from overcharging and over discharging. Okay, let us see the solutions to solve the battery overheating. What solutions can we use? Let me show you some of the solutions which we can use to solve this problem of battery overheating. Now let us see the solutions. Which solutions can we come? Disconnect heavy loads. You may be with having some loads on DC part which are heavy. They consume a lot of current, and once more current is derived from the battery at once, okay, the battery may heat up. Okay, first try to disconnect the heavy loads. This is one of the solutions. Disconnect the heavy loads. Okay, improve ventilation. We are on solutions. How we solve the battery overheating? How can we overcome this battery to avoid it from overheating? Improve ventilation. You might store your battery in a store. Some technicians put the batteries up in the ceiling where there is not ventilation. Remember, the heat hits the roof and there is saturation of heat in the ceiling. Now when you press there your battery, it will not have enough air to breathe. Also, a battery need that part to breathe. Improve the ventilation. Bring your battery down where they can have some air to reduce it from heating. Okay, when it has no breathing space, you remember when it is charging, that charging, the voltages come and hit the battery. The interval of charging the cell in the battery, that interval, it will create some resistance, and this resistance inside the battery, also battery has a self resistance. Okay, now this resistance will create some heat in the interval of a cell when a cell is charging. You know, a battery charges cell per cell per cell. Okay, now when they are charging, that interval creates heat, and this heat will be dissipated away from the battery outage, okay, on the battery body. Now once it finds when the ventilation is not there, the battery may fail to function. It's like you, when they close you inside a room without a ventilation, okay, you may suffocate. This comes also to the battery. Let us treat our system like human beings, even though it is man-made things. Okay, improve ventilation, it solves this problem. Another solution is check the battery voltage. Check the battery voltage. What is the voltage coming from the panel, and what is your battery size voltage? Check the battery voltage. It may be high. Someone can connect solar panels in series. Let us say 5 of them, and we said in series, series connection increases voltage. Okay, the voltages of the panel increases. If the panel is 20 volts and you connect them in series connection, that is, a positive terminal of one panel will be connected to a negative terminal of another panel, like that, in series connection. Meaning if the panel was 20 volts, the next panel is also 20 volts. Once you connect them in series, you may do a 40 volts. Yet our battery will need something like 1 panel or 15 volts. You see, check the charging voltage. Okay, if not, I recommended to connect solar panels in parallel. Okay, increase the capacity of the wattage and leave the voltages constant. It depends on the solar system or which you have designed for the client. Okay, another solution is replace damaged batteries. Just replace damaged. Either your battery is swollen, replace it. Okay, just know the cells are being damaged. That is the swelling at its sides. Okay, replace the damaged batteries. It may be heating because the cells are faulty, meaning they are damaged. They need to be replaced. And this is how we have covered the faults in the battery system of our solar system, the problem facing the batteries and their solutions. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, share it with your friends, family members who have the solar system, so that they can also know about the solution to handle their batteries. Okay, subscribe if you find the video useful, share it and like for more tips on solar systems, electrical and electronics. Only here at the Physics Mindset channel, you'll get the best you will want in solar engineering, in electrical engineering, and in electronic repairs, which we are coming to see in front there. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video about the inverters. Also, the inverter face some problems. We shall see the problems facing the inverters and their solutions. Then we can jump to electricals. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.